Hello everyone, welcome to Sack Lunch News.
It's going to take a hell of a lot of work to make up for all the damage he's done internationally and nationally. His network of thugs and co-conspirators are going to continue to try to undermine our democracy in the meantime. Imagine what he can do in another year. Imagine what can happen in Ukraine. It's going to take a hell of a lot of work to make up for all the damage he's done internationally and nationally. His network of thugs and co-conspirators are going to continue to try to undermine our democracy in the meantime. Imagine what he can do in another year. Imagine what can happen in Ukraine.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Sack Lunch News. Did you see that video at the beginning of this? It's awful strange to me how Biden was saying it's going to take years to fix what Trump did in the Ukraine, when I didn't see Trump lose the Ukraine. I didn't see Trump make a debacle out of getting out of Afghanistan. It appears to me that Ukraine was lost on your watch, Biden. It appears to me that the debacle in Afghanistan happened on your watch, Biden. It's going to take years to fix what you and your administration have done. But let's get into this show. This is from Fox News. A New York Times report described how over a period of 3 months, the U.S. held meetings with Chinese officials showing intel on Moscow's troop buildup around the Ukraine border. The Times also reported Biden beseeched China to tell Russia not to invade. It turns out China shared the info with Russia, stating the U.S. was trying to sow discord between the two countries, saying China would not impede on Russia's plan. Xi and Putin had a call Friday in which they talked about Ukraine. Xi didn't stop nor call Putin's actions an invasion, but supported diplomacy. Putin brought up Russia's special military operation in East Ukraine, and China the day before lifted sanctions on Russian wheat imports. So Poopy Pants Biden cried to China, who stabbed him in the back, while possibly Biden committed treason by sharing top secret intel with a known United States enemy. That's something, isn't it? This is from the westernjournal.com. In a November meeting with Chinese ambassador, I hope I say this right, Qin Gang, American officials said the harsh economic sanctions Russia would incur would hurt China's economy as well. Successive attempts to influence Qin against Russia proved unsuccessful, with Qin asserting Russia had legitimate security concerns in the region. In the lead up to the invasion, Biden proved utterly incapable of effectively working with NATO allies to deter Russian aggression. Germany finally cancels the Nord Stream 2 pipeline this week, while other European countries refused to back measures that would stymie trade between themselves and oil-rich Russia. A spokeswoman for China's foreign ministry stated, "The U.S. is the culprit of current tensions in the Ukraine. If someone keeps pouring oil on the flame while accusing others of not putting out the fire, that behavior is irresponsible and immoral." Bingo! This Chinese lady just pinged the entire Biden administration with one foul swoop in a small, 10-second statement. They're irresponsible and immoral, and on top of it, they're fucking stupid. Well, it looks like and sounds to me like Biden's daddy, Xi Jinping, tricked him and made him look like a fool. CBS News. After 3 days of fighting, Ukraine continues to push back against Russia's unrelenting assault. The United Nations confirmed at least 240 civilian casualties. Oksana Markarova, the Ukraine's ambassador to the U.S., told reporters Saturday that the Ukraine forces have destroyed 102 tanks, 14 fighter jets, 11 helicopters, 15 artillery pieces, and 536 armored trucks. Now, take that with a grain of salt. It's probably propaganda just to hype up the situation, make the Ukraine look better, and to keep you more interested so they can get ratings. Meanwhile, dozens shelter in underground metro stations. Also, tens of thousands are fleeing the Ukraine, causing some countries to fear a refugee crisis. Well, with that being said, that is interesting, isn't it? Now, from abcnews.go.com, Russia's military launched a long-feared invasion of Ukraine Thursday, attacking its ex-Soviet neighbor from multiple directions despite warnings of dire consequences from the U.S. and the international community. Russia blames the Ukraine for stoking the crisis and reiterated its demands Ukraine never joins the Transatlantic Defense Alliance. The United Nations Security Council voted to convene a special assembly. 11 nations voted in favor. Russia voted against. China, India, and the United Arab Emirates abstained. This is the 11th time since 1950 that the General Assembly convened an emergency session. New York Governor Kathy Hochul announced an executive order Sunday to review all state purchases and investments with Russia and cease investments for as long as U.S. sanctions are imposed. So, do you think the Democratic National Committee will use Biden's lack of awareness and inability to do his job to invoke the 25th Amendment? Some people do. Honestly, Harris is no better because she's just as dumb and useless as Biden is. Now, with all that being said, I really hope that they don't invoke the 25th Amendment, because we'll probably just end up with somebody even 10 times worse than Biden. Biden has completely just turned this into a whole debacle with Ukraine and then what he did in Afghanistan. And basically, his entire administration is useless and stupid. But that's just my opinion. You let me know your opinion in the comment section below. And as always, like, share, subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video.
It's going to take a hell of a lot of work to make up for all the damage he's done internationally and nationally. His network of thugs and co-conspirators are going to continue to try to undermine our democracy in the meantime. Imagine what he can do in another year. Imagine what can happen in Ukraine. It's going to take a hell of a lot of work to make up for all the damage he's done internationally and nationally. His network of thugs and co-conspirators are going to continue to try to undermine our democracy in the meantime. Imagine what he can do in another year. Imagine what can happen in Ukraine.
Piña colada, alcohol sipping.